Welcome to the channel. In this algorithm video series, we are discussing recursion. Recursion is when a function calls itself to solve a problem. But every recursive function must follow a clear structure. The structure of recursion refers to how a recursive function is organized so it can solve a problem by calling itself. Here are the essential parts. One is base case, recursive case, progress towards the base case, and combining the results. Here base case is the stopping condition. Without it, the function would call itself forever. We'll get infinite recursion. Recursive case is where the function calls itself with the smaller or simpler input. Each recursive call must move closer to the base case, otherwise the recursion won't terminate. That's why the third step is progress towards the base case. Lastly, after recursive calls return, their results are combined to form the final answer. So the first step is combining the results. Okay, let's understand this with a simple problem. So problem is a list is given with integer numbers. We need to find the sum of all the numbers. Okay, so what is the base case here? I'll take when no elements are present in the list. That is when list is empty, I'll return 0. I'll return sum as 0. Our base case is when list is empty. Then what about the recursive case? To add the numbers, I'll take the first number of the list plus I'll call the same function to add the rest of the numbers. To get the first number, I'll use 0 index. Then we'll use slicing method. So this is a new list. Okay, so this is a recursive case. So here we can see we are moving towards the base case. Each time the list gets smaller. So this is about third step. We need to move towards the base case. We add each element as the recursion unwinds. That is the fourth step, combining the result. Okay, let's write the program. Okay, let's define the function name and list as the input. So I'll take list name as num. First, let's write the base case. When list is empty, it is return 0. So when length of list is 0, we'll return 0. That is the sum. Else, let's write the recursive case. If list contains numbers, then I'll take first element of the list plus I'll call the same function to find the sum on the rest of the numbers. So rest of the work is done by the recursive function. We need to remove the first element from the list 1 onwards. List slicing. Alright, and we are done. So let's take a list. Let's call this function. It will return a result. So we need to print that. Save, execute. 78. So let me explain you how it works. Initially, length of list is not 0. So num plus 0, 10 plus list of num. Function calls itself on rest of numbers. So this function will execute for this input now. 20 and rest of numbers. Then 3 rest of numbers. 40 rest of numbers. 5 rest of numbers. When length of list is 0, base case will execute. So 0. Okay. Now the fourth step, we need to combine all the result. So we'll get the result. It will return that. So we'll get output as 78. So this is the structure of the recursive function. Okay, here we have another example. Countdown program. We discussed this in the previous tutorial. So now here, this is the base case and this is the recursive case. Here recursive case move towards the base case. Initially n value is 10, then it will become 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 and -1. So at that time, base case will execute. And here there is no need of combining the result because here function doesn't return any value, right? Instead, it directly prints the numbers during each recursive call. The work is done before making the recursive call and nothing is done when the function returns. It will simply returns. Since there is no use of returned value from the recursive calls, there is no need to combine results. Base case stops the recursion. Recursive call calls the same function to solve the smaller problem. In each step, we need to move towards the base case. And lastly, to build the final answer from the smaller result, we need to combine the result. If you miss base case, we'll get infinite recursion. If you miss recursive case, then that is not a recursive function. If recursive function is not progressing towards the base case, then also it leads us to infinite recursion. We won't get proper solution for our problem. Okay, so this is the structure of recursive function. That's it for now guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll meet you in next class. Till then, take care.